Hey everyone, Adam with Jackson Egg Company. So I'm taking down the barns here in Bloomfield, and if I'd have thought about it a little bit sooner, I would have made this video sooner. But anyways, we are almost done taking down the last of our feed and water lines, so I figured I would just show you the process to take down feed and water lines in chicken barns. What we're doing this for is to take down all the equipment, then we'll take down the barns, and basically we're going to part it all out and reuse some of the barns for ourselves, but also be able to sell some of it. We're going to sell this equipment because it's more broiler type equipment than what we need for layers. So anyways, here is the process for taking down the feed lines. It starts with, in the middle of the feed line, you've got this big old pulley type thing up here. Winch, I guess, is the name for it. But anyways, it's got a hook kind of a deal up there, and so I've got it on a drill. If you just cut off the end, like they might have a hand deal on the end of it instead, so that you can just turn it by hand, but I just cut that part off and then you can shove it into a drill. And then just as you spin the drill, and of course that came unhooked, but anyways, as you spin the drill, then it will loosen that up, which allows the line to go up and down. And so get them down, and what we did, it was just to a comfortable height, about hip height, so that the next step is to go along and you can loosen up all of these while it's here at this like comfortable height, but also go down to the end of the feed line where the motor is. Start at the motor end. And at the motor, you just have to take off the top shield, and it should just be on like a clip or maybe a small screw holding it on. But take off the top shield so that you can get into where the auger is held on to a shaft, and I'll show you that here in just a second. I already took it off, but here is the motor, and so there should be a shield right here. Not exactly sure where it is, but anyways, the shield will clip right on this side, and then there's a small tab right there that it kind of hooks into to hold it good. But as you can see here, so if it's not too terribly rusted, then you can take off whatever deal that they have holding the auger onto this shaft. This is a Allen head, but it was real rusted and on there good, so anyways, it was easier for me to just go ahead and cut it with a grinder. So that's what I did. I just cut it as close back to here as I could. And with that, just be really careful, don't have your hands inside of here, because once you cut this, that spring does have, that flex auger does have tension on it, and so potentially it'll go real quick, and it could really mess up your fingers. So just be sure that you're clear of that. Once you have the auger detached from the motor, then it'll just be hanging here on the end. This last section is already out, but it'll just be hanging here on the end, and so just unhook it and remove the motor, set it aside. With that, now you would have your auger just here at the end. Well, now go to the other end and detach it from there. It's basically the same thing as with the motor in there, except it's just going to be the bottom of a hopper, but it's still got that same shaft. So either just cut it off or unbolt it or whatever that the process is there. So just get that undone. From there, what we found was easiest is the very first barn that I did it with, I ended up pulling it outside, but you've got plenty of space inside these barns. So what we found was easiest was just pulled it out somewhat to get the auger started coming out, and then take a chain and hook your skid steer to both sides. And so that's what's down there at the very end of that barn. But we just hooked the skid steer to it on both of them and pulled them both out at the same time. If you do it by hand, it is possible, but it'll wear you out by the time that you get done pulling 300 feet. And then you've got them out in a good straight line. And then what I did for the ease of the process was If they're in a good straight line, then you just start a roll, tie 2 little wires for the very first roll to to keep the end tucked in well, and then you can just walk down, and that's what Austin is here doing. You can just follow that line down the whole way, just making a big roll it up. Now it'd be good to have a couple extra wires to hold this together. That would help this process. But anyways, I'll get you wire here in a second. So that's basically just roll it up like that, and that gets your auger out. And then the last thing to do is to come back to your feed, and what I do, like I said, maybe this would be the appropriate time to go ahead and loosen up each of these connectors like that. We already did it, maybe a little bit prematurely on this line, but anyways, you can loosen those up for sure now, and then just go ahead and lower the line the rest of the way with the drill in the middle. Once you have it sitting on the ground, as you go through, just you'll give yourself a little bit extra, it'll loosen it up just a little bit more if you just put them all the way down. And then these come off pretty darn easily, just by squeezing them, and it pops off. So that is the process basically, and then just wiggle them apart, and that's how you take down the feed line. Thank you for watching.